think it's been about a week, so I thought I would do an update on these two new aquariums, show how they're doing. I added CO2 to both of them today, so hopefully that will help get things going. And I thought we could zoom in on a little more detail on the plants. So this is a 46 gallon, and yeah, things are doing really well. Right here is the group of Lagonandra meboldii red. In the foreground, you can see that is some Cryptocorini parva. And then there's also some Cryptocorini nurii in between these rocks. And then in front of that is the dwarf hairgrass, the Elaeocharis. And then the little stem plant, and the back here is the Proserpinnica palustris. I always have a hard time saying that. Proserpinnica, yeah. And in the background, that is Cyperus helferi, and then the Cryptocorini spiralis red on this side. And if we go over to the other side of the aquarium, you'll see more of the Cryptocorini balanceae, is that sort of corrugated looking leaves in the back there with some more Cyperus. I've tried to sort of mix in all the different tall plants in the back, so it's a little bit chaotic. And there is some Sagittaria too, that bright green right in the middle of the Sagittaria. Right here we have some Cryptocorini undulata red. Some more of the Elaeocharis, the dwarf hairgrass in the foreground. Another one of the Cryptocorini nurii tucked against that rock, and then some more parva against the wood and the rocks here, and the crypt flamingo right in the center there. There is some Hygrophila pinnatifida tucked in between the wood. And there's also hidden in some spots some Hydrocotyle tripartita. There's some there and tucked in the back there. I think, is that everything? There are some little worms wiggling around in the water column in this aquarium. Like I said, the plants are all tissue culture, so they generally should be sterile. I don't think it came from the plants. I think it was there already. Had the door open, the plumber's been here going in and out for the past few weeks, and when this tank was first set up and empty, the door was open, and I think some sort of little bug got in and laid eggs, because there are sort of, you can see little wing gnat sort of bugs floating on the surface. So I think I don't think they're mosquitoes, because I'm the sort of person that if there's a mosquito, I'll get bit, and I haven't had any mosquito bites. But it's something like some sort of little flying insect is laying eggs in the tank. So there's just all these little wiggly worms floating around. But once the fish are in, that should not be an issue anymore. But yeah, the CO2 is right there. I just went for in-tank, simple little diffusers. I didn't feel like setting up a reactor or inline diffusers. I find them to be a little bit of a pain. So yeah, just going for this easy route. Finally got the diffusers I wanted, and CO2, I had to go fill my tanks. CO2 is so expensive now. I feel like it's twice as much as it was the last time I filled the tanks. Maybe I'm wrong, but it seemed way more. Anyway, that is the 46 gallon. Now hopping over to the 45 gallon. Going for a closer look. In the foreground we have the Strogany repens. There's a little bit of Utricularia graminifolia, I think, is the species. It's a little carnivorous plant, a little carpeting plant, and I gave up trying to plant it. So I got these two little bits in there and it seemed like it was gonna be a nightmare job, and now I just have the rest of it sitting in the cup. And maybe I'll just put it with the rest of my carnivorous plants outside or something, I don't know. In the center here we have Cyperus helferi. The common name is usually downeye. And some more Strogany tucked all around these little rocks here. Now in the back corner on this side, we have some Rotala, let's say it's called Super Red. Blood Red. Rotala Blood Red. And then, as a contrast, there's this bright green, I don't know if I can focus on it, bright green Myriophyllum Guyana. In the center is Progostemon, I think it's Stellata, the cultivar name Dawson. And then next to that is some Rotala willickii. And the back corner is Limnophila aromatica. And in front of that, this little bushy guy is Didiplis deandra. I think that is all the plants in this tank. So, focus. So, and again, lots of bubbles from the CO2. On both of these aquariums, I tried the dark start, is that what it's called? Dark start method, yeah. So, I basically, once I filled the tank with water, I just kept the lights out until the tanks had cycled the ammonia from the aqua soil, or contra soil in this case. I waited, I think it took about 3 weeks to a month for it to cycle. And the idea, I guess, behind that is that you might have less algae problems. And so far, so good. There's no algae at all. And I've been running the lights about 7 hours. So off to a good start. I know these tanks don't look like very much when you first start tissue cultures, but they will start growing pretty quickly. Usually within a month, they start looking more like something. But yeah, that is an update on these two. I'm gonna hold off. I may add fish to the one on the right just to deal with the worm problem. I have an order from the wet spot. There's a sale this weekend. So I got some little killifish, some lampi, I think Normani killifish that I was gonna put in another tank, but I may put them in the tank on the right just to eat those worms. I don't think that'll cause any sort of problem with the plants. They're really tiny fish. But other than that, I'm gonna let the plants grow in a bit before I add fish to these tanks. And I'm not really sure what to do exactly. I had ideas before I planted them, what I wanted to do with these aquariums, and that all kind of went out the door once I decided on a course with the plants, decided how I wanted them to look with the plants. I suddenly am not, I tend to overstock my tanks with way too many fish, and maybe I'll try not to do that this time. Maybe I'll try to keep them as simple aquascapes with maybe only 1 or 2 types of fish. We'll see if I can pull that off. Maybe not. Maybe that's not realistic for me. But yeah, other updates in the little fish room here. My 100-gallon is doing well. The angelfish are growing constantly. The silver ones, the 2 silver pairs, are still regularly laying eggs. The Farallawella are still regularly laying eggs. Finally just stopped. I think they hatched. I don't think any of the babies will survive though. But other than that, the angels are going pretty well. And I'm really happy with them. Over in the corner here, I finally set up my 33 long, which is kind of a hard tank to film because it's so short and wide. It's 4 feet long, a foot tall, and a foot deep. But I set up a little sort of riverscape for it. So I have fish coming for this on Tuesday, so that'll be cool, finally. It took my time with this one too. It's been set up for a while now. No CO2 on this one, but there is a little bit of aqua soil in a bag underneath the sand for the crypts on the left. And pretty simple planting, just 2 types of cryptocoryne on the left, some Sagittaria all across the center and right of the tank in the back, and then just a few little rocks with little anubias on them. So yeah, this will be fun, doing a little riverscape sort of thing going on here. And then finally, this was meant to just be the sort of old geriatric tank where my last little tetras and rasboras could sort of finish out their days. The tetras are Hyphisabrachin amapaensis, and I think I mentioned last time they're like 8 or 9 years old. There's only 3 left though, and then there's only 3 left of the, I think they're cherry spot rasboras. So I decided to get some fish for this tank. So those will arrive on Tuesday as well. I will post an update when that happens. And yeah, otherwise it's sort of a little black water tank with some little botanicals and little pods and things and leaves, and just a simple, no CO2, a simple Java fern and anubias tank. And yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. And yeah, I'm getting a lot of fish for this one on Tuesday, so I'll post an update maybe next week. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the fish room. Over this way, you can see my 120, waiting for me to have money to do something with it, and then just the rest of the mess here. But yeah, I think that's long enough. So I will keep you all updated on how these planted tanks turn out. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.